let's jump into it. Looks like
Yeah.
is Tyler Huntley. What do you think? First blush right now. You don't have a crystal ball, as coaches like to say, but I don't know. That you might get Huntley v. Burrow on Sunday night now.
Waiting to hear what happens at practice today. This Lamar Jackson situation is interesting. Is interesting in so many ways, Rich. Let's just start with the basics. You're talking about a guy who's got a PCL injury. We don't know because we haven't been getting the medical updates, but he hasn't been at practice at all. Right? We were there for a game. He wasn't on the field even watching practice, which I found to be unique. Then you wrap it all into what about the contract? What do you do? This is the end of a second straight season where he's missed multiple games at the end of the year because it was an ankle injury last year. It's a knee injury this year.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to make a decision on a long-term contract. He's his own agent. There's a lot of questions. The Roquan Smith deal yesterday leaves them space to make him the franchise player. But in the immediate, in the short term, this team can win a 16-13 game with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. They've done it. I thought Huntley was really good the year before, Rich.
Yep.
Remember the Green Bay game, which was his first start?
Unbelievable.
He was up and down the field with Aaron, and he hasn't been that good this year. Can he be that version of Tyler Huntley in the playoffs in Cincinnati? If he can put a couple of touchdowns on the board, it gives them a chance against Baltimore. Against Cincinnati. If not, I don't think Baltimore can win a game like that. I really don't.
Well, he had 2 in the air, 2 on the ground against Green Bay, and that was a game where John Harbaugh decided to go for 2 at the end because Aaron Rodgers was torching his defense, and he wanted to just get the win right there. And you're right that the difference between that day and that team and this one is they are receiver challenged right now. I mean, when I saw them in Week 15, Browns, Ravens in Cleveland, they were in the midst of a 10-game stretch without a single offensive touchdown from a wide receiver, 0. And Mark Andrews was on a streak like that as well. And it just maybe they'll run Huntley more than they did because there is no tomorrow. I think that might be the way we're looking at the Ravens going into this game, unless Lamar has a 72-hour period that we haven't seen him have over the last 4 weeks. I don't know.
And you can make the argument. It shows you how valuable he is to this team and this offense. And it's a contract that if you don't pay him, you're not going to find a guy to replace his unanimous MVP level skill set that we saw when he won the award in 2019. But by the same token, if he doesn't play and you continue on this path, can you play winning football and win a game in different styles? That's what the playoffs. Sometimes you've got to find different ways to win a game. What if Cincinnati jumps out and they go, boom, touchdown, second touchdown, and now you're down 14-0? How do you play? Can you stick to the run? At some point, does somebody make a play? And their receiving core right now is Demarcus Robinson, who they added to be a 3, and it's become a 1 because Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Robinson, Sammy Watkins, James Prochet, and Tylan Wallace, who's been out most of the year and is just back up the last couple of weeks. That's it. That's their entire wide receiving core. If you fall behind a team like Cincinnati and the way Burrow and those guys can get going, you can't win that football game with that receiving core.
Mike Tirico here on the Rich Eisen Show. And then, of course, the Bengals, you're calling the first game of the AFC title defense of the Cincinnati Bengals and the right to what appears to be go to Buffalo because Buffalo's going to start the Sunday that you're finishing on NBC with Chris Collinsworth and the rest of the crew against Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins offense that couldn't put up a point in the end zone against the Jets. So we're just assuming this is going to end up being, I know what assuming means sometimes, for the right to go to Buffalo. And the sense of Cincinnati is they're one of the hottest teams coming into the playoffs. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do in their title defense, Mike.
Me too. They haven't lost since Halloween, Rich. And, you watch Burrow and you just feel a confidence around Burrow, the receiving trifecta trio. The way they were running the ball with Mixon was not good at the start. It's gotten better. It's not great, but it's gotten better. On the defensive side, they continue to make plays. Lou Anarumo, as we start to throw out all these names about this assistant coach deserves a look, and so does this one. So does Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, who did a terrific job of moving the board and changing chess pieces and strategies last year as part of the Bengals playoff run, and he's done it again this year. And look, you're gonna get all the attention on the offensive side when you've got Burrow and Chase and Boyd and Higgins and all those guys. And don't forget the former Raven Hayden Hurst, who's now really kind of found a good role with the 50-plus catch season. This defense, they continue to make plays and use their personnel very well. I like them in this playoff run, and I like Anarumo as a candidate who I think teams that are looking should take a harder look. I haven't heard all the rumors and every name that gets thrown out there, but usually it's offensive guys. But Lou Anarumo is one that absolutely should be looked at, I think, by the folks with the 5 openings right now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.